2020 was kind of crap, huh?
Yeah, it sucks.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the final episode of the Rantcast for 2020. Now, before we get started with the video, I'm just going to preface it by saying that I have been having some mad fat issues with OBS lately, so if the video is choppy in some points, just ignore it and just blame 2020 for it, because I've never had issues like this with OBS before. It's friggin' ridiculous. But as you can see, we've got the usual setup. We've got Brandon here. This is actually also the first 4K episode of the Rantcast, which is pretty cool. So we're now producing these in 4K at 24 frames a second, which is a pretty nice change of pace, I think. It'll look a little bit nicer than usual. But yeah, so as you might have been able to tell from the title, today we're going to be talking about 2020 and why it was a pretty crap year and why neither of us would recommend it. You know, 0 out of 10 IGN, all that good stuff.
Yeah, 2020, very interesting year, but also had a very memorable start. You might remember that 2020 it was a new decade. You know, we're going into the 20s now. Everyone was kind of talking about how it'd be like the roaring 20s, you know, and have you ever heard about the 1920s? Everything was kind of happy, jazzy, very hip, very cool. A lot of new things going on, a lot of things that break the rules, but still a very interesting time period in a good way. Well, 2020 comes around and it obviously didn't end up that way, but January and February, you might remember, was very kind of normal. You know, everyone was still thinking that 2020 was going to be their year, and me, certainly, I thought it was going to be my year. You know, 2020, I'm going to have a really great job later on, I'm going to get a girlfriend, I'm going to do all this cool stuff, I'm going to go out to Colorado, and Sam and I are going to finally do our Rantcast in real life. And while some of those things ended up happening in real life, it wasn't in the same way that we all would have expected him to. So, you know, for me, January and February were just the same old, you know, winter type stuff. I couldn't do much, but I was really excited for the springtime so I could go outside more and do more of what I wanted to do. But yeah, I mean, 2020, the beginning was very normal for me. How about you, Sam? What did you think? How did it feel like for you?
So it was basically the same deal for me. You know, 2020 started off as a very just normal year. It was, as Brandon said, the start of a new decade, which would this technically be the third decade that I've existed for? Because 2000s, 2010s, and now the 2020s.
Yeah.
Should we count that as three, or would that just be two? I mean, 2 full decades. We'll say that this will be the third decade.
Yeah, this will be your introduction to the decade number 3. Yes.
Yeah. So just in case you guys didn't know, I'm quite a few years younger than Brandon. I'm actually only 20. So that's that's pretty cool, you know. But regardless, 2020 started off normal. New decade, pretty cool right there. January, I had a very secure, very good job that I was making quite a bit of money at. That's how I was able to afford the $3,000 home theater for my family, and with the iPhone 11 Pro for my dad for his birthday. You know, it's not daddy's money. You know, the people saying that it is. Like, no, that was money that I got from working, but it was a good start to the year, as Brandon said. And then, you know, things progressed. We got farther into it, and then, you know, March hits, and I start seeing news headlines about a new virus going around, coming out of China, called coronavirus, which is now referred to all the time as COVID or COVID-19. So that started, I'm just like, oh, it's H1N1 part 2, or, yeah, it was H1N1 was the other one back in the day.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I mean, I thought it was just going to be... when the lockdowns first started, I thought the lockdowns might last maybe a few weeks at most, and then maybe by Memorial Day, we'll say, I thought everything would be 100% normal again, and we wouldn't have to worry about anything. But no, it was really rough. I had to work from home, and it was a very strange thing to get adjusted to. You couldn't hang out with friends and stuff like that. Couldn't really go outside. And oh yeah, we have to talk about the toilet paper shortage and the Clorox wipes running out.
Right.
Because those were two crazy things.
We can get into that in just a little bit. I don't want to talk too much about the disease itself, because that'll just, you know, ads go bye-bye, that'll just be gone. And also people will get pretty, triggered about it because people are crazy in that way. You say one thing that someone doesn't agree with, and then that's the end of you.
You're going to explode, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, going back to the beginning of this whole deal here, in March, I'm just sitting there, reading about it. All right, H1N1 Part 2, wouldn't be too big of a deal. And then it was like, oh, we're going into lockdowns, and I got a week off work. And that week off work has now lasted, 9 months? Something like that. It was March. It's now...
That's a long week.
Yep. It was, it's been a long week off. I'm actually still only self-employed doing a bunch of video work on the side, and of course, getting ad revenue from YouTube, which wouldn't be possible without you guys watching, so... another thing I'm going to talk about is the progression of my YouTube channel this year. We'll get into that in a little bit more, but it's been a good year for YouTube at least. Regardless, going back to the beginning of the lockdown here, we had, everyone was like, oh man, sweet, we get a week off work, a week off school, whatever. And then now, suddenly, it's December 31st, and 2021 starts in 12 hours from the release date of this video. In my time zone, at least. Depending on where you are, it's different. But yeah, it's been a weird year, to say the least, Now, getting into the shortage of products, okay, let me explain what happened. So at work, we had this cooler full of water bottles, right? So people are panic buying toilet paper, water bottles, bleach, wipes, everything, right? So I'm going to the store in one of the company vehicles, just filling up a shopping cart with water bottles, because that's what we usually do. There's all the employees blow through those water bottles real quick. So we would either fill up one of our vans with it or the little Toyota that we had with these cases of bottled water. Now, the first time that I went to buy water after people started panic buying, this guy comes up to me and said, yeah, you better buy that while you can. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not panic buying. I'm buying it for the office for people to drink, because it's easier to go to the cooler and grab a bottle of water than find a cup, wait for the water to run cold, and then fill it, But it was the same deal with toilet paper as well. Now, I'm glad I was not tasked with picking up toilet paper for the office, because let me tell you something. If I was, I'd be getting a lot of really weird looks from people, and probably a few people pretty mad at me for buying so much of it. But yeah, there was also a shortage of cleaning supplies, as I said. Now, I'm not going to disclose where I worked, because I just don't want to do that. But we used a lot of rubbing alcohol to clean things. It worked the best because it was dirt cheap and it doesn't leave any residue. It's also, side note, it's a really good thing to clean the windows in your car with, as long as you don't have tint and you don't mind the smell of alcohol. Just do it at night and leave one of the windows cracked, you'll be fine. But regardless, we couldn't find any alcohol, so we couldn't clean very effectively. We had to start resorting to bleach to clean. Gosh, it would make a lot more sense if I could tell you where I worked, but I'm not gonna do that, because it's just not a good idea. But alcohol was the best way to clean things at that place. So we had to resort to buying, using bleach we had around the office and that Lysol spray stuff. And then soon after that, we couldn't get any of that either. So it became a chore to try to clean there. And then maybe 2 weeks after that, I got the text saying, well, actually, no, the last day I worked there was on a Friday. And since there was no work for me to do, they let me go, and quite a few other people go at lunch, which was at noon. And then, so I'm chilling at home, yeah, I got a half day, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I was playing the Call of Duty at the time, the new one, which was Modern Warfare. And then, on Sunday night, I get a call from my boss saying not to come in next week. And then the same one next week. And then it progressed to, yeah, you're not going to be able to have any work to do until June. And then it was July. And then it was August. And then it was yeah, I have no idea when you're going to be able to come back here to work, because there's no work for you to do. So I was like, okay, great. That's awesome. So that sucked right there. But as I said, you know, with all of the people who usually have these big in-person gatherings, they had to move that online, and I was actually responsible for moving a big organization online and keeping them afloat, actually up until about a month ago when they switched over to live streaming from pre-recording and uploading. They're able to now live stream because they dumped, well, I think it was like $150,000 into a new camera and live stream setup, which I actually run that too now, so that's pretty cool. But that, regardless, you know, from March until November, we shot 4 terabytes of footage for that place. 4 terabytes of footage. That's not ProRes, that's H.264 4K 24 frames a second at 100 megabits a second. No ProRes, no RAW, no nothing. It's compressed, pre-compressed, and we shot 4 terabytes of raw footage. So that was interesting, right? And then, you know, also a few other video endeavors I've done was obviously the Jimmy Suds car wash video, which in 2021 we're going to be having a few more of those. Most of them will be over on his channel, but there will be at least one more on mine. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about any more of that because you'll just have to wait until the video comes out. But yeah, that's been pretty much my life since March. We've got now, like, I've been doing a lot of YouTube stuff as well, and actually now might be a good time to talk about that. So this is the first year that I've ever actually had an actual, like, consistent upload schedule all year. I took January off, and then every Friday all year there has been a video. I came close to losing it a few times, like when I was in Indiana with Brandon, and I had that copyright issue on the off-road video, which we'll get into that more in a little bit later. But with YouTube, in April, actually, I hit 10,000 subscribers, which is huge. I can't believe I hit 10K. I didn't think I'd ever even see, you know, 500, 1,000, let alone 10,000. And now, at this point, we're almost at 15,000 in just 8 months. So the channel has grown substantially this year. I have, with all the time I had off work, I was able to teach myself new techniques with drones, gimbals, color grading, all the good stuff to make the videos just look nicer. I did quite a few off-road videos with the new GoPros. I now have actually 2 Hero 8s and a Hero 9, so next year the off-road videos will be even better. But off-road videos were a big thing this year because I had so much free time that I could just go on trails, you know, every other week, which was really fun. And then, you know, near the end of the year, I started. Well, I didn't start, I really only did one. I did a nice HDR flyover of Central City, Colorado, which I actually now know how to properly edit and grade HDR and make it not look like crap, which is super helpful for the future because I'm planning on going somewhere pretty cool in February that will have a pretty cool flyover and handheld HDR type video, which I'm actually going to be exclusively shooting with this iPhone on a gimbal and my Mavic 2 Pro. So we'll see how that turns out. We're definitely going to be putting this iPhone to the test. I've been super impressed with the camera so far, but we'll just go ahead and see how that goes whenever I end up going to that place.
My channel got some substantial growth as well. I set a goal for myself that by the end of the year that I would hit 10,000 subscribers. But I actually hit that goal much earlier than I thought. I got it in October, got 10,000 subscribers then, and now I believe at the time that I'm recording this, I'm at 11,000 something here, 11,636. So not bad. That kind of shocked me. I was hoping after I hit that 10,000 goal that I would hit 12,000 by the end of the year. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised that by January I do hit 12,000. Which is pretty nice for a channel that mostly just does sirens. And you may have noticed too in my channel, if you've been following along a lot, that I've been doing a few more experimental kind of things that I haven't really done very much. I did a storm chase vlog kind of thing, which is totally new, something I've never done before. I've also have experimented around a little bit with a drive around siren video, and some people really like that, which was really nice. And again, the storm chasing vlog got a lot of good responses, and if you really like that video, I do have another one in the works. I've been kind of slow at editing it because I've been making a switch between, I used to use Sony Vegas for a lot of stuff, and I've been switching to Premiere. That original project is in Vegas, and I'm wanting to recut things now that I know how to cut things a little bit better. And that one's basically getting redone by the ground up, but I do hope to get that up by next year. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of new things. I had a job at the beginning of this year that was kind of very stressful. Every day was just kind of a drain. I'd come back home and I was just kind of worn out and drained out. I like the work that I did, but there's just some things in the work environment, I guess you could say, that was really toxic, and it kind of just wore me down. And by the summer of 2020, this year, I decided to leave. It was a very abrupt leave, and I took kind of a career break for myself. And it was a very much needed career break because I got to do things that I've always wanted to do. If you have the money and you're obviously not broke and you can do a career break and you just, kind of just relax for a little bit for a few months, take a few months off and then find another job that's much more healthier from a mental standpoint, definitely do it. Because after I found a really nice job that a friend who was moving helped me get when I took his job over, I felt a lot better. I felt more well-rested. The job itself was a lot better, and I'm glad that I got it. And if anything out of 2020, there's been a lot of crappy things that happened this year, but if anything, to me, I'm glad that I was able to kind of make a very major career decision, but I think it ended up in the right way. I'm doing a lot of new things, learning new stuff. Even during my break, I was doing more YouTube stuff, doing different things I've never done before. In fact, that Storm Chase vlog was something I edited primarily through during the summer. I filmed a wedding, which is something I'd never done before. I did a lot of new cool stuff. So I'm glad, if anything out of 2020 that ended up being good, I'm glad it happened to be that. And then, of course, I'm saving the best for last. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I was planning to go to Colorado to meet with Sam, which we've been talking about this for a long time, probably since we've met. I've always wanted to meet up with him. He always wanted to meet up with me in person and do a Rantcast in real life, which would be the best thing ever. I couldn't make it to Colorado this year, but thankfully, just out of pure luck and coincidence, he was able to come down to Kentucky, close to Cincinnati there, and we met up there, and finally we were able to do a Rantcast in real life, and it was a really cool thing. I'll have him talk more about it too, but we're hoping, if all goes well and this Corona stuff is done next year, we'll probably be doing a Rantcast in real life at least once a year for sure, which I think would be really cool. And I think our viewers will like it, and I think you guys will like it, and it's just going to be a really great thing, and I hope we could do that. And plus I love to travel, so that's going to be really fun. I was also going to be doing a storm chasing trip too at one point with some friends, and unfortunately COVID happened, so couldn't do that. But next year I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to take at least a week off for that, and doing a storm chase trip, get some tornado stuff, get some siren videos. That's going to be really cool, something to look forward to for the new year.
One thing I actually did forget to mention, Brandon actually reminded me when he was talking about the wedding that he recorded another one of the side jobs I did over, it wasn't really summer, it was in September, but I actually recorded a wedding. It was the first one I've ever recorded. The video came out awesome. I had drones up, I had multiple cameras set up all over the place. I used my DJI Ronin SC in collaboration with my Panasonic mirrorless camera. I was super happy with how the video came out, and so were the clients, which is always a good thing. You always want to have happy clients when you are doing video work, especially for something as important as a wedding,
Yeah, happy clients will pay you,
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Now, to end off the video, Brandon briefly mentioned that we were finally able to meet up. Now, let me tell you guys the beginning of that story. So in May or something, I hit Brandon up. I said, yo, one of my cousins is getting married. They're out in Kentucky. Would you be able to meet up in June? And he was like, yeah, we should be able to do that. So that was it. That was our conversation. And then like maybe a week before I was like, yo, are you still good to meet up with me in Kentucky? And he goes, yeah, we can do that. So I'm like, all right, cool. The night comes before the flight. We did a FaceTime call that was actually in the first part of the video. It was in the first part of the video. And that was in there. And then I flew out to Kentucky. And then he drove from Indiana all the way down to their house. And we met up. And we went around and saw some sirens. Now, a couple of the sirens we saw actually have been removed now, which kind of sucks. You know, it's never a good thing when that happens, but do you remember which ones it was? I think it was the bright
Siren,
they were both 612s. It was the leaning one in Hidden Valley and the fire station one in Bright.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, which is real shame because at least one of those sounded pretty good, I think. I haven't watched any recent videos of it.
The Hidden Valley one sounded really healthy.
That's a sad tragedy in the 2020 siren enthusiast land. So yeah, that was nothing I was expecting.
Now, if you remember back when we were talking about the meetup originally after it had happened, you'll remember that I almost crashed Brandon's Phantom 4 into the Bright 612. Your IMU just went out for a second. Okay, that was scary. Huh. It was just flying itself around for a second. That always makes me have a heart attack.
That scares me too.
And now, part of me kind of wishes that I did, because imagine if it like left a mark on the siren and some enthusiast paid like a large sum of money to have the siren that DaSamNudge crashed DSRX 100's Phantom into. That would have been
so much money, man.
That would have been interesting for sure. I don't know, man. Our channels might not be big enough for that, but yeah, we just sign it. It's lit.
We might need a few more zeros on our subscriber count.
Yeah,
to get that to work.
For sure.
But imagine a world where that can happen.
It is possible. I don't know, man. There are some people in the siren community that would want a siren with, especially Brandon's signature, because I think he's the biggest siren channel on YouTube for good reason. You know, his videos are top notch. But we are planning on doing a competition. Hopefully at some point we'll get together and we will film the same siren and see whose video is better.
Yeah, we'll have a vote. It's going to be a big contest. There's going to be fights going on, riots. It's going to be a beautiful
it'll be a beautiful sight
contest
to see,
there, yeah.
For sure. That is going to be it for the video, guys. That's it for the Rantcast in 2020, and that's it for 2020. Today's the 31st, guys. This is the last video that I am posting this year. Come back tomorrow. I will be releasing a video talking about some plans that I have for the new year. And until, you know, that'll be it until February. I'm taking January off again because it's nice to have a month break from doing this, especially because I am like right out of storage. I've got like 80 gigabytes left and that's it. Maybe even less. That is going to be it for this episode of the Rantcast. As usual, subscribe to Brandon. His links are in the description. There's also going to be a little thing on the end screen for him. And yeah, more to come in 2021. Hopefully we'll be doing at least an episode every month next year if we can find the time and the topics. But yeah, and also hopefully we can do episodes on Apple next year because we kind of missed like 3 events. Yeah. So there you go, guys.
Things happen.
That's true. So that's gonna be it, guys. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and until next year, thank you for watching.
I just realized I have matched my bed. I literally matched the bed.
That's funny. Hold on. Ooh.
That was a really good one.
That was a good one. Alright, let me start that over. So, let me transition to your YouTube. Oh, shoot. Are you kidding me, bro?
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Oh, my light just died.
Oh,
no. I only have one battery for this.
Typical Rantcast fashion.
Okay. Well, let's chill for a little bit while the battery charges, I guess.
Alright.
Hey Siri, main light's on. So this is a pretty good blooper, guys. Rantcast fashion, right here is the new light that I've been using, and the battery died. So that's fun times. I'm gonna go ahead and charge that for just a little bit here. Dang it, bro! I don't even have an external power supply for that thing.
Summertime, when I hit that 10,000 mark, and currently by the time
like
that I'm recording
October.
this, oh, was it
Hold
October?
on, let me check. I posted a thing about it.
It was either like late summer or October. I don't really remember.
It was 3 months ago. I said that you're super close to 10K.
Sweet.
So that was
Okay.
October.
October.
No,
Sweet.
September.
September.
Okay. Something around September or October, something around there. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I guess
Nah, that's all right.
Just start.
We gotta be accurate.
Yeah, start over again because it was not summer.
I actually hit 10,000 scripts. I gotta re-say this. I'm having a stroke. By October, I hit 10,000. Yeah, I know it's terrible. But then by October, I hit 10,000 subscribers, which was about 3 months early than I thought it would be. See that? Wait, hold on, I can't do math right. There's a big blooper reel happening right here.
It's okay, bro. It's the Rantcast. We gotta go out with a good one.
Exactly. Let me just
always gotta have again. Oh, and as you see, I still don't have my key light, so we're using the room lights.